Hello everyone and welcome to iRacing and the first look at iRacing. So two things I initially liked straight away. You can see I'm revving the engine. I really love the sound of these cars. And the second one, which I also love, is the fact that I control what I do in the pit lane. So literally I can set off, as I'm doing now, out the pit lane, and I've just got to keep to the pit lane speed limit. So there are two things I like. I'm initially in a Mazda MX-5 and I'm at Laguna Seca, and I'll explain those choices in a little bit. But first off, what I tried to do is just go out and do a practice run, do a couple of runs around the track. Let's get a feel for the car and feel for the how the cars handle, if they're any different to a Seto or Gran Turismo or anything like that. So I did a few laps initially, and I noticed force feedback was very low, but I was still trying to push, and as you're about to see, this is what happened when I pushed a little too hard around one of the corners. As you can see, I went off. I tried to keep my foot in. Boom. Hit the wall there. So I went off and I went to try and fix the force feedback. And you can see that I've also got damage, which is very good. But I went to try and fix the force feedback. Went on the forums and there's really detailed post on there. And literally I fixed it straight away. It's got a really good feel now. So what I'm going to show you now is my fastest practice lap. So I did about half an hour to 40 minutes practice. Really gave it a good go. One thing I do like is the fact that you've got your overall time at the top against your fastest lap. So at the moment I'm behind my time, but the ghost car, and also on the left hand side, bottom left hand side of the screen, you can see sort of reference data, and it's sort of individual sections, so you can actually do it on a section by section. So you'll see the ghost constantly change position based on a corner, because that's your best of the you've done on that corner. So you can really try and push yourself or identify strengths or weaknesses where you actually need to improve, and that is a really good thing in any sim racing game. I wish Gran Turismo or any other game had that, because I personally do it anyway, and I use my own time referencing. The fact that it's there and I can use that, I don't have to do as much. I can think about the car and what I'm doing more, and the fact that the ghost changes as well, you can really see what you're doing differently on each of the runs. You can see in the bottom left as well, I've got you've got the steering wheel, so you can see how much I'm actually turning my wheel, and the throttle. You've got the gear and speed, and on the right hand side you've got sort of last, best, and your current time, and time elapsed. So there you can see I'm on the 21st minute. I did do more laps after this, but this was my fastest lap initially, because I was just trying to get an idea of the time. One also nice thing I mentioned about the reference time on the left hand side. You can actually see my most optimal lap. So rather than having to write it on a spreadsheet or something like that, if you're really trying to focus, it's there. You can plainly see it. So that was a 1:45.319. I thought, okay, that's good. That's good. It's initially something to aim for. And I thought, okay, let's have a look at qualifying. So this is qualifying now. I've joined a similar spec race, I would call it. You basically just say you want to join up. The qualifying time hits, and then you can join. Now, there's quite a few people in here. The fact that I didn't see many people that often, I overtook two cars. I know one guy was completely faster than me during the qualifying, because he went away, but I was still catching people. So I thought, okay, not too bad. You know, it's my initial first try at this game. Let's see how I do. So obviously it's got my 1:45.319 there, so that was my all-time best lap. So I can see that I've got to try and match that. And you can see my reference, I'm sort of here, there, everywhere. That time there at the top is against my personal best lap in this combination, so I'm behind it at the moment. Now, one thing with this sort of combo with the Mazda and Laguna Seca is initially I found you could push the car very hard and it won't slide, but if you do start to slide, you're going to have to control it very quickly and catch it very quickly, which I quite like, because then you're going to have to predict and know how the car's going to react very quickly. So you can see I'm quite aggressive with the throttle, but if I start to lose time, lose the back end, I'm going to have to catch it really fast, and that does happen on occasions. If you hit dirt, obviously it spins up the tyres, you get less grip, and then you will spin out as well. So I'm coming to the end of my first lap, and what I wanted to show with this qualifying is that I'm actually quite consistent initially, and that's the first thing to do on any sim racing game. I've said it before, I'll say it again, is try and get consistency first, so then you can push on individual sections of track. Now iRacing's got this lovely menu on the left hand side where I can actually see where I need to push and things like that. So initially I'm just trying to get consistency, and as you can see there, I did a 1:45.326. Now of course I'm going to be better in some parts and worse in others each lap, because I'm new to the sim. Different physics, different feel of the cars and things like that, different wheel settings, all that jazz. But I'm just trying to get consistency there, and the fact that I'm around about the same time is really, really good. So I'm on my second lap. I'm already up again on the time. I was 0.25 there. Obviously I wasn't aggressive through that fast right-hander. That one I found was very tricky to get right, but eventually I got there. With the speed aspect of it, you just got to dab the brakes slightly and turn in, but make sure you're just holding the throttle rather than accelerating, because the one thing with this MX-5, it likes to understeer as well, I noticed, so you got to really chuck it in. You can also abuse gears. Now I'm using flappy paddle. I know you can use the H-box, but I'm using flappy paddle because I'm trying to be one of the fastest rather than one of the most realistic, if that makes sense. But I still enjoy using the the flappy paddles. I may use the H-box occasionally, but I'm all about flappy paddles really. I enjoy those, and that just means I can focus on steering and actual pedal input and things like that. So you can see now I'm 0.5 behind my time, but there's parts of the track like there I just gained a tenth on that one corner, so there's lots of time available. Gained another half a tenth there coming into this. In the braking zone I've gained another tenth. I'm losing a bit now, and then I gained a load there. So out the corner, out of those last little few corners, I've gained a lot of time, but around 4 tenths it says there on my reference, so you know it's good. So once again, that's another 145.3. So after qualifying had finished, I thought, okay, where did I actually come? So position 6. Okay, it's not too bad, is it really? Save the replay, of course. I always save replays. You'll notice it's a crash one there, so that's something for the end of the month. There's a few of them. But I thought I'd check the entries and results, and you can see that I'm way off. Now, looking at the forums afterwards and looking at the event, it looks like it's a fixed setup. So that's the time I could gain. So before I actually jump into a race, what I'm going to do is I'm going to really try and focus on getting into the low 43s, sort of high 42s. The highest person I've seen, or lap time I've seen, is a 141. So that's very interesting, the fact that you can go that fast. I really need to work on my lines. My braking. Braking's a big part of iRacing. I've just been reading up on. And you'll be able to see me progress, and hopefully you'll be able to progress with me. You'll see how I think and things like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this iRacing video. It was really fun to actually play, and I'll see you in the next one.